no work of any man, nothing can separate us from the love of God. So if we know this, then we know that God himself is with us and loves us eternally and loves us forever. There's no need to have a pity party to feel that God will not forgive me, because this thing that I have done is too much to be forgiven. There is nothing that is too much to be forgiven. The only thing that it requires is that in this resurrection we make that decision to say, God, I won't do it no more. Today I am yours. So if resurrection that we are celebrating today means these wonderful things for us, what happened to those that died before? It didn't just stop down. Because I hear people say the only benefit we receive is just the justification and the grace. Christ's death that being buried did more than grace and justification for us. We have forefathers that we don't know trace back to whenever the first Adam was buried. What happened to them? They were things before Christ himself came. The Lord himself spoke about that in the book of Ezekiel. When you look in Ezekiel 26 verse 20. Ezekiel 26 verse 20 and verse Ezekiel 31 verse 16. If you read the scriptures, the Lord himself is saying we don't have, when we have operational by then, we can have the screen so that we can pull up the word so that people can read the word, because we want to save time and today. But when you read that, you also see that the Lord himself was talking about those who died and ended up in hell. He's talking about our forefathers before Christ himself. Those that were unjust and that were sinners. Then if Christ is the beginning, how will those people be ministered unto? Does it mean that they are cut off, that they will not have salvation? Because they came and they lived before Christ. So by his burial and by his death, he also ministered to those who are, or who were dead before him. So his power reaches beyond. Now if you go to the book of Luke, in chapter 16 from verse 19 to 28, we see where Christ himself made an example of that. To make sure, because there are some people that argue, oh, there is no hell and there is no this. And he argues about the story of Lazarus and the rich man. And he said, no, this is still of the Abraham. And that's the hell where Lazarus is. And trying to say, can you go send somebody? You all know all the story. But Christ himself explained that hell is real. That is why the resurrection means a lot for us. In Matthew 12, from verse 40, the Lord made a comparison between the 3 days that Jonah spent in the belly of the fish. Why? Because in those days he was